What's going on, everybody? On tap today is a very special treat for you. And by treat for you, I mean treat for me, because I got to talk about Lord of the Rings for 2.5 hours with two guys that are essentially like herpes to me. I'm trying to get rid of them, but they just keep coming back. This Brentley Wiseman and Skylar Gertz. We made like a porno and came together and went balls deep into this trilogy because it is just f***ing amazing. We talked about the plot, characters, what we liked, disliked. I asked him, where in Middle Earth would you want to golf? Which professional sports players would have replaced the Fellowship the best? Like, we made a lot of fun metaphors and comparisons with sports, because the Trial and Error podcast is a nexus between nerdiness, sports, and all things, worth talking about, naturally. So before I send you off on this podcast quest to go watch it on YouTube or listen to it on iTunes, both are great. I want to rattle off my favorite quote from this trilogy. It's always resonated with me, but it's extra powerful to me no more than now, these days, these very hateful, dark, and gloomy days. There's just too much going on, and it's just very difficult to see. Cops are getting ambushed, people are hating each other, killing each other, and it's just disgusting. And I hope that with this quote that we can be inspired to maybe dull our claws and opt for compassion rather than hate and misunderstanding. So I certainly hope this quote resonates with you. This is Sam picking up Frodo after a bad day. I know, it's all wrong. By rights, we shouldn't even be here, but we are. It's like in the great stories, Mr. Frodo. The ones that really mattered. Full of darkness and danger they were. And sometimes you didn't want to know the end. Because how could the end be happy? How could the world go back to the way it was when so much bad had happened? But in the end, it's only a passing thing, this shadow. Even darkness must pass. A new day will come, and when the sun shines, it will shine out the clearer. Those were the stories that stayed with you, that meant something, even if you're too small to understand why. But I think, Mr. Frodo, I do understand. I know now. Folk in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't. They kept going, because they were holding on to something. What are we holding on to, Sam? That there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo, and it's worth fighting for. Yeah?
Things are pretty crazy at the Wiseman household. Got a new dog about, last week. Her name's Brooklyn. She's the sister of Bronx, who is the best dog ever. And this podcast is brought to you here by Bronx.
Yeah,
he's our mascot for the podcast.
What makes him the best dog ever, though? Like, is this? I don't know if you've given Brooklyn a chance, though. Like, what if she steps up for you in the fourth quarter?
It has only been a week.
Well, the early returns on Brooklyn, let's just say I love her to death, but they've been less than inspiring. She goes out of her way to bug Bronx, and Bronx is just trying to kick it, post up, and she goes out of her way and bites him. I mean,
idiot. Classic rookie move, doing a little too much, but also I hear a lot of NFL talk where if something happens one week, oh, this guy's the career's over. Stick a fork in him, they're done. Hot take all day.
You think I'm jumping the gun here?
Maybe a little bit. Give her a chance to grow into that pelt, This is a new squad. She's not used to it just yet. She wants to make a name for herself.
Just because Justin Herbert is going off doesn't mean I got to say he's going to be better than Tom Brady. I'm not.
You just said that 5 minutes ago when we were talking.
Well, I wasn't on air.
Didn't happen.
Yeah, so I was just saying, like, Brooklyn could end up being the best dog, but realistically...
Not with Bronx around.
Yeah, not with Bronx around, and even so, I mean, Tom Brady just passed Joe Montana. Like, how long does that have to take? It takes a while. So.
Takes a long time.
19
a lot of
years.
dedication. She'll need to prove herself. Like, the cuteness she has down, but I feel like that's some like rookie cuteness. It's everybody starry-eyed. But I think she'll come into form. Let me pick her up and hold her. Bronx, I think, is being a good vet. Kind of like maybe a Brett Favre with the new hotness coming in, trying to maybe show her the ropes a little bit? Or?
No. Brett Favre hated Rodgers. I would say this is more of a...
Who counseled their new?
What do you think, Montana and Young?
I don't know about that either. I would say, honestly, I mean, the worst one is Flacco and Lamar Jackson.
What about Kurt Warner, Eli Manning?
That's a pretty good one.
What about Fitzgerald and Tua Tagovailoa?
Okay,
however,
honestly,
bless you.
Honestly, before like 2 weeks ago, I would have said Fitz and Tua, but all of a sudden Fitz is crying because
the man's going off.
But
50 years old.
I have super questions about him now. But anyways, let's.
But we're moving on.
Yeah, let's talk about some Lord of the Rings.
That's why we are here today. We've been talking about doing this podcast for Lord of the Rings for the longest time. Skylar, you have recently watched them for the first time. Very proud of you.
First time in a long time. I've seen them when I was little, young.
Did you appreciate them?
I did not appreciate them whatsoever. Watching them, I was like, oh my god, it takes too long just to get to the action part. Because I was a big action guy. Now, since I'm an adult a little bit, I decided to watch the movies. Sandwich wanted me to rewatch them, so I rewatched them. Boom, binge watched them all. And honest to God, being back in 2001, 2002, 2003. These movies do not age. They are fantastic movies.
They don't, really. Like, the graphics are...
The graphics, everything was ahead of its time back in that day. And honestly, God, it really is ahead of its time. Like, the they were able to pull off is unbelievable.
All of it. A lot of it.
I'll jump in. So, like, obviously, my favorite show of all time is Game of Thrones. Before Game of Thrones, and even during Game of Thrones, obviously, like, I'm really into Marvel. Really into Harry Potter. But my nerd kind of... career, like my nerd, just personality, like it really came from Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is what started it all for me. Like, I was obsessed. I mean, like, what say you? I hope I still have the same amount of knowledge as I did as, like, you know, when I was in 3rd or 2nd grade or 4th grade, but like I probably don't because I was absolutely obsessed. I would read the books, not like the big books, but like just like random kind of trivia and facts books. Like, I would just be super in.
You're that gay for it?
Oh, it's not even funny.
How you not hard and gay for the story, bro?
Like, I was...
You read those books for the AR points.
Like, that was Game of Thrones for me before Game of Thrones. Like, it was... That's what I was about, was Lord of the Rings. Like, I remember I'd ride my bike, and I probably shouldn't even say this, but like, I would always say, like, run Shadowfax, show me the meaning of haste.
Great, you rode your bike till you were a senior.
No, like, I'd ride my bike home from Thomas Damon's house, and I'd literally act like I'm on the horse that Gandalf...
Show us the meaning of it.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's no joke. Like, I'm serious. Like, Lord of the Rings is top 5.
What do you think, so why do you think this trilogy, because you say Lord of the Rings, like, usually you don't just say one movie, you usually just kind of lump them all in like one category. Like, why do you think these movies, this trilogy is so, well, first of all, skull to each Lord of the Rings. 3 beers, 3 movies. Why do you think these movies resonate so much? Like, why are they the timeless classics that, like, for decades forward, I'll be showing this to the kids, grandkids, whatever, I'm going to shove it down their throats. Why are these movies so dope?
I just think for me, it's like the first kind of medieval, I guess, type of bow and arrow sword real trilogy that like not only did it have that, but it had the magic aspect, and then just the way they were able to tell the story in like 3 movies. It never felt rushed.
No.
And it felt like everything was kind of working cohesively to that specific ending. And then really there were just so many stories within the story that like I was super invested in Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli or whatever. But like you guys could have been invested in, you know, Merry and Pippin's arc or Sam and Frodo's arc or whatever. But like they're all kind of moving into one. And then I also just think like for being done in 2001 or in 2002 and 2003 or whatever, like wow. I think if the movies were made 5 years before, they would not be what they were in terms of like how they're aging. I think that they made them at the perfect time where it's like, yes, like we have probably better CGI or whatever now, but like honestly, how much better could they have made those movies now? Like I just think it was the right time where it's like technology was at the point where they can make these movies and make them good enough to withstand the time. Whereas like, and this is probably going to be an insane take, I'm not trying to steer at this conversation.
No, please.
The first couple movies of Star Wars, like I'm sorry, I know you people already heard my Star Wars takes. I don't like those movies because I don't like the graphics. I think they're ridiculous. Like, it's all costumes. So I'm just saying, like, I think Lord of the Rings is timeless because it was made in the right time, where it's like
I hear you.
the Nazgul or whatever looks real, like it looks sick, like the ghosts, like the computer animation of the ghosts, like it looks really cool, like all the buildings look dope. Like if you told me Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones were made at the same time, I believe you. So that's kind of what I think.
It was at a sweet spot, say, like right after 1990s, early 2000s, and it could have very well ended up if they just said, hey, no, it's CGI, the lot of it. Like, I don't know, I feel like it would have taken away, would have been more like The Hobbit, where everything's CGI and kind of garbage. I think they hit that sweet spot of technology, and then being in New Zealand, they just took that and they made the landscape everything. That's a huge part of those movies. And then just the orcs, like there are guys in costume, and then when there's, say, in Two Towers, when there's 10,000 of them, aka Raider Nation, like you use CGI sparingly, but all of it's guys, like they're in costume, they're in armor. A lot of it was just so sick, and I think like the traditional, conventional way they shot it, I thought was
yeah. Good. I definitely think that is true. But what really got me into the movies is definitely, I'm just all about the action. I didn't really care at all about storylines or anything like that.
Who needs it?
Who needs it, exactly. But like being a little kid watching and then watching as an adult, seeing all the action and everything, I was like, holy crap. But then being an adult and watching it, it's just crazy to see all, like what Brent was saying, like all the storylines that are involved in it. It's freaking, like Game of Thrones took goddamn how many years to put all that together, and they were able to, like, I think they nailed it really well with just 3 movies with all the storylines.
It's a little dense, but they pull it off.
Yeah, it's a little dense, and you can nitpick at little things just to nitpick if you want to nitpick. But honestly, I think it's a good, clean story, and just seeing them just lead up, and at the end of every single movie, something just insane.
Something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna happen, and that's what I really enjoyed about it.
So, what was your thoughts and everything going into? Because you made the decision to rewatch the whole trilogy. What was your kind of emotion towards it going into it, and then like how did that change like after you see like the credits roll at the end of the third movie?
Well, the emotion going into it, I was just kind of like, I mean, Sandwich wants me to watch it because he wants me to do a podcast. I was like,
he really did.
Yeah, that's definitely what it was. But then after the first movie, I was kind of like,
big trust.
I actually kind of like it. It's pretty good. Then watching the second and the third one, I really enjoyed it. I got like seeing what you guys talk about whenever we were just hanging out, seeing what you guys talk about, I started putting the things together. Like, oh man, it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. That's what kind of got me going with it, was you wanting to do this, and I was like, screw it, I'll watch it. But then I actually ended up liking it all.
The nerdiness aspect of it, the people can take it way over the top. You can take any subject, sports, whatever.
If you're a super nerd and you love stories and doing all that, you love watching this.
I embrace it.
I
welcome it.
Well, that's I think the lost art of storytelling is that build up, and because there's action, yes, but action for the sake of action is good, but when there's people in the action that you actually care about, characters that you don't want to die, aka Boromir, like it's kind of devastating.
Boromir is weak.
Arguably the best member of the Fellowship. I asked you all for a hot take. I don't think it's too hot. I would pull that out of the oven with my hands. Boromir might be the best. Excuse me, strike that. The best member of the Fellowship.
Yeah, once we
get there, I'll
the
plant
other
that
topic,
seed.
I'll talk about my Boromir feelings.
Please.
I think a lot of what I'm going to say about Boromir is heavily influenced by the Honorable Ned Stark. And
Sean Bean.
They were played by the same character, Sean.
The Honorable. Headless. Ned Stark.
They're played by the same character, and I just love Ned Stark. So, like, I think I probably feel better about Boromir now. But I'm telling you, as 10-year-old Brent,
wasn't having it. This guy's a dick.
I wasn't about Boromir.
Do you think Ned, in a lot of you know how there's ghosts in Harry Potter just hanging around Hogwarts? Do you think Ned is just hanging around, just going around King's Landing? What's up, guys?
Is it what, a headless nigga?
Nearly headless. How can he be nearly headless?
No.
Then he got hung and he was dying.
Dude.
I know, he's just... He got burned. He looked at the basilisk.
He got messed up, but who was that? Who was it by?
The basilisk.
Oh yeah, he got petrified or whatever. Huh?
Yep.
Dang.
We're the. I know this is off topic, not about Lord of the Rings, but did the ghosts have any influence in the fight for the battle for Hogwarts? Like, why aren't the ghosts showing up?
I don't know, to be honest.
WTF, mate.
They can't do what the ghost did in Lord of the Rings.
Hell no, they can't, which is another reason why I think Lord of the Rings is better than Harry Potter. But
I wasn't sure if we're going to ask that question.
We're going to go there, because you're big on Harry Potter. Like, you can advocate for it, and I don't hate on Harry Potter. It's just between the two. Sophie's choice, not really. Lord of the Rings all day and night.
I don't know.
All day and night.
Part of me just wants to say all day and night, but at the same time, it's like,
You can have the morning with Harry Potter if you want.
Like, if I'm in the mood for Harry Potter, like the hits, like I'm down. Like I was just
Harry Potter is good till he gets old. Till like the movies start. Like when I binge watched that. Till how many?
The third movie I think is when it goes off. It drops off for me.
Is there 4 or 5 of those?
There's 7. I technically there's 8. Technically.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm going with after 4, it starts sucking ass. When they start getting older, it starts getting a little ridiculous.
Like the animation, well, not the animation of, but the way it's shot, it's the first 2 movies of Harry Potter, I feel like, are way different than the rest of them. They're a little, I don't know, not as much CGI. But we're not here to talk about Harry Potter, damn it. We're here to talk about Lord of the Rings, and I got a question for both of you guys.
Yes.
Get the gears turned a little bit. Which member of the Fellowship is the best in bed?
All right. Well, do you want to go first, Skylar?
Well,
the best.
The Fellowship
The
is
best.
top 9. Like what we were
Like
talking
No,
about.
who's the best in bed? Who do you think just really
going
gets
with
after it? Bilbo? He's not part of the Fellowship. Oh, you know
Well,
what?
are you talking
Sure.
about like
I meant like out of those 9 dudes.
Oh,
But you know what?
I
You
guess.
go to the whole
Gimli.
movie. Gimli?
Gimli all day.
She gives him the
Solid
axe.
answer.
Gimli freaking, he will do anything and everything that he needs to do because he's so goddamn ugly. And
Yeah.
he has no standards.
No.
He'll go to a bar. He'll go in with Legolas, let Legolas pull whoever because we all know he's pulling, some
He is.
freaking tail. And then
I
Gimli
mean, we've seen it in The Hobbit. Sheesh.
Gimli,
See what everyone. He's like
then Gimli's
nobody.
just gonna pick up the scraps, and the scraps may be good. The scraps
Them
may
is
be
good
bad.
scraps.
It doesn't really matter.
Either way, he feasts.
Either way, he is feasting, and that the lady that has to be preyed upon, she will be enjoying.
There's a lot of fur there. There's a lot of hair. I want to say
Love
the carpets match the drapes. I assume.
Oh, Gimli.
I'd say
And he's got a
definitely
helmet
have
for his
braided
wang, too.
pubes,
He's definitely got
like
braided
the
pubes for
dwarves
sure.
and
Oh,
all
yeah.
Absolutely, just 2 dangling down.
They
Yeah.
probably connect. They probably connect.
Yeah.
Just
Definitely
one.
what's going on.
I can
Gimli
get-
for sure.
Gimli, Brent.
I was down between 2 people. Probably Gimli but he ended up being my second one. But the one I was going to say was Samwise Gamgee.
Sam, I think
He did have a kid.
And Rosie, and I guess the
Same
books,
thoughts.
like Claire told me that he had like 16 kids with Rosie. Just
I'm just saying, like,
pounded
Sam,
her out.
Dude, I love my boy Sam, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But like, he ain't the best looking guy, and he low-key pulls a baddie hobbit. So
He does.
He went in too.
I'm sure, yeah.
He puts down his drink and
pulled
goes
down
up
drink
and
and
gets
went
her.
after it. He didn't care about
He
rejection.
showed no mercy, and so I just have to assume. I
Relentless.
have to assume he's like
And within-
good in bed.
like,
because
within a
she-
year,
she
there was a
stood with
kid.
him. Yeah,
I assume that bed for him is kind of like how he killed Shelob, just sticks it in her and just gets covered in just juices.
Oh no!
No!
I envision Samwise as being like hecka scared, and he's only a missionary kind of guy.
And
I know that's a fact.
For sure. For sure.
No, I'm not trying to turn this into Samwise slander because
No Samwise slander, but
he's my boy.
hey, sometimes, well, I don't know if what happens in the Hobbit hole stays in the Hobbit hole. Maybe I think Bilbo got weird in
God,
Under
you
the
see
Hill.
Bilbo at the end of it?
I got a hot take. It's not really about the Lord of the Rings, more about the
11
Hobbit. But I am not a Bilbo guy.
No,
Yeah.
he's a bit of a
Oh, I'm
turd.
a big Bilbo guy.
Bilbo.
Not a
Big
fan
Bilbo.
of Bilbo.
What about outside of the Fellowship? Do you think Elrond got down? The
No.
king? No.
Yes, he
I
got
definitely
down.
You
No,
think he
he
got
got
down?
down.
Yes.
I mean, if you're alive for
Elrond-
thousands of years,
Well,
like
I think he got
Dude,
down like
Elrond, I feel like
Isildur?
that guy has a lot of sexual tension. So maybe he didn't get down because like he has a lot of sexual tension. You know, like he is
That angry look
always
on his face.
angry. He's always stressed. He's like panicking. Like bro, like
he is, isn't he?
just
Thinking about
relax.
the future and shit.
Although Elrond's my guy too. I Elrond big time.
He's dope.
I think,
Like he's
He
my
does.
dude. I like him a lot.
I think Elrond's like, have you seen the episode of Family Guy when Peter's watching the English porn?
Oh yes. Very good.
That's exactly
It's very
what Elrond-
proper. There's
very
elven,
proper,
the elven
barely
love language.
any moving.
No,
Nothing.
I think there's like when you're alive for thousands of years. I think he just inserts, and then like 3 days later, he just gets up, like puts on a big flowy robe and goes and stares at a waterfall. Something real nice. But I think we can't deny the fact that Gandalf is just the Mac. Gandalf the Gray, a
think
little
it's
dirtier.
what? Oh.
I think
time
Gandalf
out.
the Gray was a
Gandalf
little.
think
the
there's-
White, definitely not. But Gandalf
Yeah,
the Gray.
Gandalf
Gandalf the
Gray
Grey
is
is definitely
down.
the best Gandalf.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Savage.
Easily.
Ass.
Gandalf the
You think
White.
he uses a staff?
Yes. Yes.
You
Think
think
he tries
he blows?
does he put them in like a little spell or something?
I think he spins them around, like when
when
him and
they're
Sauron
fighting,
are fighting. I
when
think
they're
he like
fighting.
when he gets her, he's like, oh, another position. Just she flips around. He like bends to his will, and always possible bends to his will. Yeah, Gandalf. Like orgasms galore for him, for her, anybody. Except even if Sam's like dropping some eaves outside the window, he'll get one. Anybody within a 10 block radius. But Saruman for sure bangs more than all of them.
Oh,
I
God.
think he's like for a bad guy.
In his whispering eye.
His whispering eye screams.
Oh, you get it from
I got the
role models?
Oh, I didn't. Oh,
Come on.
role models. That kid is such an irritating. That actor, McLovin.
What? I love that dude.
That movie. There's an all-time baddie in there. You know when Stifler is trying to like bang that one chick in the tent, and she's all naked.
Oh, yeah. And we're talking about role models.
Yeah.
When they're camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see a boob. It's like that's a
Dude,
fine.
when I
That's
was
a
a
fine
kid,
movie.
that was like my favorite scene, probably.
How many times you
Wow.
You don't
you
ask
know
him that. Don't,
you know
You don't know the truth.
I don't know who we got listening on the.
whack. Nobody.
I know,
Just
I
us.
know your brand's getting bigger. I don't know.
Oh,
Listening.
is it? Let's hope. I haven't checked the iTunes reviews or anything like that. I assume they're just raving. There's thousands of people I don't know.
Of course.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way. Like, who's the best fellow in bed? Your favorite scene? It's a bit of a loaded question. It could be from any movie. Like, what scene really got you going? I can give you my answer if you'd like, or do you have your answer?
Yeah, I got my
up?
answer.
Yeah.
My favorite scene.
Set the stage.
My favorite scene was when Denethor, the father of Boromir and Faramir, when Faramir was allegedly dead, and
Allegedly.
he takes him and he puts him on all the wood and everything, and he starts pouring all the gas. But his face is
He's like, I'm about. He was gonna do that regardless.
he drops it and just,
Bring wood and oil.
and then they catch his ass on fire, and then Gandalf comes in and freaking beats his ass, and he runs past the tree, then he jumps off the goddamn
Could
cliff.
you? All right. So from that doorway to the
know how
end
fast
of
he
the
went? Like
panel,
DK Metcalf.
like that was some
Ran like
DK
100
Metcalf.
yards.
That was over 100 yards, and he's completely in fire. How do you know which way to go? He's, oh, he got this, Den. Come on, Denny.
He wanted to die. Like,
He really
He
did.
wanted to die.
But like, why wouldn't you just like lay down? Like he's on. I think. I don't know. Was it muscle spasms that led him to the end? That's
I
a
don't know,
long way to
but
run.
I will say, I literally just watched that scene maybe 20 minutes ago during my refresh, and like that kind of clip of him like just slowly falling from the mountain and then expanding over
the
the
camera
wall.
comes back into Rohan
Badass.
just
Wild.
I was actually I had that written down. I thought that was gonna be kind of unique to have that written down as one of my top 4.
That's
I
very good.
Couldn't pick, but that one was.
You can give me multiple scenes if you want. Like I want a favorite for sure, definitive answer, but other scenes that like really got to you.
Yeah, I'm struggling with a favorite scene. I will say, like Legolas taking on the elephant was badass. Like that was like
Still only counts as one.
that was. I could probably say that, but I might say another scene from that same battle that I just watched was when the Witch King goes to Theoden. It's like talks to his dragon, like feast on his flesh.
That's
That was
hard.
badass.
That's some hard.
And then Arwen like ends up killing him, saying "I am no man." Just jabs him in the
She
damn
takes
face.
one faint step. The dragon is just completely caught off guard, and 2 hacks in his
Dude,
little.
She goes off.
She-
Like,
Do you
That
think
was
because
hard.
she's a female, the dragon kind of like reacts differently?
I had.
He smelled
Like,
the
do
blood.
you think it's something
No,
different? Like it doesn't
I think-
react kind of like
I
towards
think
just
that
to a man?
blood chain. I think that bloodline is strong as fuck with great warriors. Like, I think she's a badass, and dude, Aomir's a badass.
Eomer's
I'm
probably
not gonna lie,
favorite
dude. During my
Rohan.
rewatch, 'cause for the folks at home, I rewatched it too recently just to be caught up. I forget how dope Theoden is.
Theoden's a bad man.
Theoden is like
He's a great king.
I look, he might have underestimated like his character and overall kind of like nerd culture. Because he might be top tier, honestly.
Not enough love. Not enough
down.
love.
not,
All
not at
time.
all. Theoden's raw, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and like when you talk about if you name your top, I don't know, 6, speeches from Lord of the Rings, Theoden probably has 2 of them.
Right before they go into the fields of Minas Tirith.
Oh, what is
The
it?
fight.
Ride for ruin?
And they're all... I forget what he says.
It's like in the world's ending or some shit.
In the world ended.
Dude,
Yeah. Like he's like knocking the so
That's my favorite scene.
If I may,
that's my
man.
favorite quote. That's my favorite quote. Sorry.
Okay, I'll give you that
That's my
for
favorite
sure.
quote. That's my favorite
My
quote.
favorite scene is for sure. You hear the horns, like it's the dawn, and Rohan, like all the horses are coming up over.
The deep.
No, not at Helm's Deep. This is
this
like
is for Minas
Rohan
Tirith?
is coming to help Gondor. Like they
Yeah.
arrive, and then you see like the like that puffy orc's like
I hated that guy.
He's such a
He's all
dick.
gimpy at his gimpy
And then like
shit.
Theoden, like they have less than half of what they like. It's just the entire movie. The favorite, you never feel like the good guys, the protagonists, have any sort of chance. There's so many orcs, and it's just they're all getting up the entire time. The Osgiliath, they get overrun. There's too many orcs. There's too many. And they're like, let's go. And he's just knocking all their spears, and then just rushing through, like the orcs, like seeing the fear in their eyes. They're just right now. And then Eomer just like just savage. And then he takes out one of the Arlephons with one single spear, glorious. And he's like, reform the line. Take them head on. Let's go.
Like when the elephants come.
Yeah,
that was
those Easterlings.
It's funny actually. When you asked me like my favorite quote from the movie, like the movie's like, for some reason I was drawing a blank, but like that speech, like King Theoden's speech, doing like the Ride to Ruin and the world's ending, like before every Charger game I would listen to 3 like speeches on YouTube. That'd be one of them. Achilles, when he goes like, "We are Myrmidon. You see what's over on the side of that island?
Oh, it's immortality. Take it. It's your. Oh, we are not. We're not men. We are lions. Oh, like we could do a podcast on Troy next time. But
I'm
like,
down as anyways, that was my number 1 speech I listened to before Charger games. The next speech I listened to is Tyrion. Those are good men knocking on our door. Let's go kill them.
That was dope. So Ward before football games, Coach Daniel Ward, WHS, shout out Warriors. We'd be stretching out nice and quiet in the.
We turn the lights off.
He'd turn the lights off in the gymnasium, and he'd play the speech Al Pacino gives in Any Given Sunday. Now this is a game of inches.
Yeah,
it's a savage quote. It's
the
a
like then at the end of it starts crying.
I love you guys. Like, one time, all right, this is anecdote.
That speech was looking hype though.
This is Ward. It gets so hype, but Ward one time. We were just like screwing up. We were playing in Willows, and he's just screaming, yelling. This is like one of, I think, his second year coaching football. And we're screwing up. We should be ruining these guys. And at halftime, he yelled so much in the middle of yelling us at halftime. He's like, "You got." His voice just gave out. He's like, "I can't even yell anymore." So like, he's like, we're kind of laughing. He's just like, but he has the assistant coach come and finish this off.
You know what's weird?
I love Ward. Tip the cap to Ward.
Tip the cap to Ward. But how old was he when he was coaching?
24, 25. Young. He's a kid.
That's nuts looking back on it.
Yeah, he was like early 30s.
That's crazy.
Like imagine
30.
That'd be like me 2 years ago trying to coach seniors in high school.
Well, imagine like
a lot of pressure.
Trying to gain the respect of these these young men, these teenagers. You know, he did it.
That's honestly like nuts looking back on it. And like when I was in high school, I never realized like how young he was.
Yeah, like Benny was coaching at 20 years old.
That's gross. Dude, he's also a dad, which is just weird.
20, dad at 21.
That's just like crazy thinking about, but like.
Excuse me.
I don't know. It's wild. It's wild.
We digress.
Anyways.
Trust me, I know digressions. I get off topic all the time. So many good goddamn scenes. But maybe, see, out of the first movie, what's it like a solid like takeaway scene from there? All right. I'll get real like poetic and cinematic. So the Fellowship is formed and they're just leaving Rivendell, and it's the first time you hear that. Dun 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 dun. It's zooming out of them over the mountain.
One of my top 4 scenes.
It's like that is so.
That's so crazy.
It's like slow motion. Gandalf's leading them.
They're
up,
all
like,
on the line, and it's
so good.
It's like the group is there.
That is like that's
I literally
it.
had it written down when the Fellowship is formed, like that, like kind of moment.
When are we going? That is such a funny. Like that's so funny.
Let's have a conversation. Which individual movie is your favorite? And I do think this kind of goes back to your very first question, why it's timeless. Because each movie, in my opinion, can really stand alone.
They can.
They can. And that's really rare to say for a lot of series. And I might feel strongly in saying that's probably the best. Like
that's actually
thing. Like honestly,
one of the questions. I think I had a question later on. Like which one is your favorite? Or I guess I had you. So let's move into that. Rank each movie from I guess least. You can't say least favorite, but which ones. From to like number one. I can. I'll start. I'll draw first blood. For me, they go in order. I'll put them in order. A lot of people say Two Towers better than Return of the King, but I just think it's the buildup of those first 2 movies that are just brilliant, and then the climax that is the third movie. It's everything in the kitchen sink is tossed into that movie. You get every loose end is tied up nicely. You see. So many characters come to fruition. So many like things happen and done in such a great way. I think it builds up 1, 2, 3. That last bat you can't match that for Rohan coming in. It's dope. Helm's Deep, how that was shot. The ants tearing up Isengard. so sick. You can easily compare 2 and 3. I think that's where like the fighting comes in, the bout. But just to make it easy on myself, I'll go 1, 2, 3 in order for my like how I like them. For sure.
I like going 3, 1, 2. I like 3 so much just because of the fact of when freaking Aragorn goes into the freaking cave, going to the
as least favorite. Like 3 is in.
Like 3 is my favorite.
3's favorite.
Yeah.
And then 1 over 2 towers.
Yeah.
That talk about a hot take. Oh my.
Dude, well, I like 1 because it kind of just like lays it out for me. Like
it does.
But like I like 3's my favorite because like when Aragorn, I like that scene when he goes into the freaking caves and like and the horses are freaking out and like that, and he goes.
I do not fear death.
Exactly. Like
just
it just shows that he's just a bad motherfucker. That's about it. Like he's doing what he needs to do to freaking make sure that fucking everybody survives.
He accepted when Elrond comes in there and convinces him. He's like, "You're the king. This is your sword. This is you."
Yeah.
I think that's when he. I think he shed his Strider. Kind of that facade of, hey, oh, I'm a ranger, I'm a nomad.
But why was he so like? Why did he like so want to be a ranger so bad? Like why did he just not want to accept having the throne?
Because Isildur, what his ancestor did was like very shameful, and for his ancestor is the very reason there's still evil and Sauron's still alive and the world is still.
He was a weak man. Like
very weak.
He was like he was like, what is the issue with the race of men? Like he is.
It's
that epitomizes him. Like Isildur was just.
He shows how men selfish. They give into temptation, just like that. I kind of see the ring as like a form of the most extreme version of heroin or a drug that anybody could possibly consume. One touch, even being around it, consumes you, where you don't even have to take it, but it's there. The temptation's there. But I think that's why Aragorn kind of strays away. He's like, I don't want that. It's not my guy f***ed up years and years and years ago. I don't want it. Yeah, like I'm not. Maybe he doesn't think he's worthy, but I think he definitely sheds that when he has the sword. That's when he goes into that mountain. He is the king. None but the king of Gondor can command me. He's like, well, motherfucker, it has been remade. The blade was broken.
What's your order?
It's tough, because like it's funny that Aaron was saying that because like. I was low-key debating putting 1 ahead of 2, but then I was like, well, shit, am I even sure 3 is better than 2? Because, like, in my opinion, like, for me, 3 kind of falls off right after the Battle of Gondor. I don't necessarily need the battle at Mordor Steps. Like, I don't give a about Frodo, which obviously.
Frodo's trash.
But, like... I just feel that. You're going nowhere.
If they disregarded Frodo though, like it sucks. I know Frodo is not a very likable. Frodo's not a very likable character, but he's crucial to the ends justifying the means. Like that fight at the gate. It's kind of bizarre, and I wanted to talk a little on Aragorn. Like, is this the first horrible decision made of his kingship?
Say that again.
How do you send a bunch of guys on a suicide mission?
I need to order my movies.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Up. I will definitely just say, I think it was 2, 3, 1, but it's tough. Like,
between 3 and 2?
It's tough between...
One
is pretty crazy.
It's like whichever order is not a bad order.
Like,
they're all like
truly.
Good.
You're not wrong.
Like,
There's no wrong answer.
I could be in a mood for 1, and it just like it's great. Like Scott said, it sets the table, and I think there's just a really cool kind of flow where it's like they're moving right, and it's badass. You meet all the characters, it's sick. But I think I gotta go 2 with number 1 just because like one, I mean, Legolas just goes off in that movie.
Yeah.
Badass. It's the first like big war at Helm's Deep.
That was insane.
And then
that's over an hour. I want to say over an hour of just straight action.
It was really cool. I'd say the worst part of the 2 towers, oh shit. Well, the worst part about the 2 towers is I would say just Faramir's kind of arc with Frodo.
Right.
That actually pisses me off, honestly. I hate that.
I'll defend it ever so slightly.
But that's my order. 2, 3, 1.
It's 2, 3. As 1 is your favorite?
2, 3, 1. That order.
In that order. So 2 is your
favorite.
Oh, you're going from best to not the best. It's free over here, dude.
Credit card.
Hey, for Faramir, he's no Boromir. That's for sure. But I think he needed to be there in order to connect Frodo to Gondor. He needed to connect him and get him on the right path. Because I think his character is integral. I like him a lot. There's a lot of honor in Faramir. He's a classic younger brother. He's trying to please his dad, who obviously favors Boromir, and he's doing what he can. Like a chance for Faramir, Captain of Gondor, to show his quality. Like the ring's doing it to him too, and they go and they show up, and meeting them was what up that Smeagol. That was the last straw that turned him from back to Gollum, because he was about Frodo and Sam. He was legit gonna help him out, and then all goes haywire. Like it sucks that you lost it.
I actually never thought of that. That was the reason why Smeagol turned into Gollum, was really because of Faramir and his men. Because that's exactly what it was, and I just never really had that thought until now.
It sucks because there's that scene where he's crying and he's like, Smeagol, like, and he starts talking himself back into Gollum, and then like his soul was like, the ring retook him. He relapsed in his own way. Like he trusted Frodo, and that was betrayed. So I was like, well, you, buddy. I mean, I don't know where in society he would, maybe in the Tenderloin in San Francisco or something like that, he could survive. I don't know if there's a Tenderloin in Minas Tirith. Probably, I'd imagine. Maybe it's Osgiliath. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think what turns people, I'd say the way, I'm going to say the first and second movie end could turn people off, because they end, it's Frodo and Sam continuing to walk, and it's kind of slow. I wouldn't say anticlimactic, but there's not really any closure. But it's because it's continuing. It's moving on, moving forward. Same with the second one. And the third one just buttons it all up. Sam gets laid. Everybody wins. It's great.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So we also brought here some Woodstock pizza. Can you guys eat it without ranch, or have you been cursed as I to like? You need ranch. You're purist. You're better than us.
No, not better than you. I mean, I am. Not because of pizza, but I like ranch, but I definitely don't need ranch. I would say, like,
I'm a ranch guy.
You guy.
I for sure can.
So you like wearing condoms? Oh boy!
I haven't had Woodstock in a while.
It's solid. Here's a question for you guys.
Idiot.
Solid banter so far. Your favorite character? You can give me fellowship. You can give me non-fellowship. Who's somebody that gets your goat? Mr. Action Guy, I'd expect Legolas out of you. No.
Legolas is my least favorite character.
Really?
What? Oh, someone help me.
He's not my
I wasn't ready for this.
He is not my least favorite character.
take.
I do like Legolas a lot. He's a very good character.
Not good
But
enough,
he is
apparently.
overhyped. Big time.
Because he's beautiful.
Right, he's beautiful.
He's a great shot. He's a team player.
Is he a great shot?
He's a
we
team
can
player.
get to that when we talk about
Oh, I think,
But,
honestly, I thought that might have been on purpose to increase his KD ratio. Let fucking Helm's Deep get blasted. He's like, all right, more for me. Gimli.
That's exactly what it was. Piece of shit. But my favorite character, just because it's a female, she had to endure a lot. Like, she was in love, and then no matter what she could do to make sure that Aragorn fell in love with her, like, it didn't matter what she did, and she's a great warrior. Like, she went in for the battle no matter what. Like, she was about it, about the cause and everything. But honestly, God,
Arwen?
Yeah, Arwen. Arwen is my favorite.
That's your favorite character?
I really,
You know, there is
because like she had to do like, even though, okay, whatever, like she had to do like, imagine being in love with somebody knowing that no matter what you do, like no matter how kind you are, you put it out, like anything, like, and the person doesn't love you back, like no matter what, like he's already has his mindset on somebody else. He's rocking her freaking chain, like, and she's got to deal with all that. And then
it's like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
And she still goes to battle. Then she's got to see her father die, and she goes and saves her father.
Her uncle
Saves him, and just like having to do all that, and still looking like a freaking 10.
She was a hottie. A young me was quite enamored with that one.
That's not a bad call, honestly. Like,
I didn't.
Arwen's dope.
I don't think I gave her as much credit, like, because you raised a really good point. She was denied, like, she's like, "Do you not know why I'm here?" And Aragorn, at least Aragorn was straight up with her, "Hey, your love, like everything. I'm sorry, like I can't do it."
Like, he was
so
a
that
good
was
dude about it.
And she rallies and like, "F it, let's go." And she brings up Pippin or Mary.
You know she marries Faramir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Like that was a good. That was a good. Well, it strengthens the ties between Rohan and Gondor.
That's a power couple right there.
That was good. But that's a great character call, and she kills the Witch King, which is crazy.
I will answer who my favorite character is, but Skylar brought up something that I just want to bring up now so I don't forget, and then to bring it up later. What we can talk about now is like, did Aragorn? It's like, if you were to ask me like, what's one thing I think Lord of the Rings could have, I wish they would have done differently in terms of like showing me this, I would have been down to see, I think Eowyn, like
the elf,
right? Aragorn's the one he chose.
Part of the Fellowship.
No, I would. Well, that or like, I want to know more. Like, okay, why? Like that.
He just fought back in the day. Like that's all you know, that he fought back in the day.
No. Wait, what? Sorry.
Is that what you're saying? Like,
no,
you don't really know him.
No, I want to know more about his wife, like the elf. Like, I want to know more about her.
Why they love each other so much?
Yeah, why they love each other so much. I mean, I think they did a really good job in Fellowship. Like, she's kind of dope. Like, she went and saved Frodo. Like, and then she's low-key the reason why they brought Narsil back together. Or sorry, what's the
Yeah, she comes at the shards of Narsil.
Yeah, exactly.
Anduril, the Flame of the West.
Yeah, she's the one that did that. And I just feel like, I mean, we saw how dope Arwen is, from Rohan, and yet Aragorn's still choosing Eowyn. So it's kind of like, okay, a little timeout. Like, I need to see what's good with Eowyn, because it's like, I don't know. I think that would have been, that's something they could have done, I feel like.
It really, they do it in a subtle way. They show her kind of fantasizing. They see the sun. They show their love now, or like they want to be together. Even though the world's coming to an end, she's listening to her Elrond, her dad, like, get the out of here. We're all gonna die. That is a fact. And she's like, she comes back and he's like, what are you doing? And so if he's just sitting there watching Pornhub all day, now that everybody's left Rivendell, why doesn't he go and join? He's immortal. You still got Len, your pencil guy. Why not go help fight? But instead, he's just sitting there. Wow. With his
Elrond,
not doing much.
I think he feels like he already fought his fight.
He fought their fight. Yeah,
he fought his fight.
They fought their war.
For the first time.
Good call.
But that was something I just wanted to make sure I talk about, because I haven't thought ahead.
No, good call.
Just like that's something I think I would have loved to see, like just her background, her history, like what's good with her, like
put more emphasis on why they love each other, and that could have been a good kind of dramatic point. Like if she's in trouble.
Talk about how they meet?
No, never, not
really.
Once.
No,
it's just they're in love. They come. I think these movies come in. Everybody has a certain amount of backstory, but it's not like Game of Thrones where there's an entire war and there's all these bloodlines and shit. This one's like there's a little bit of backstory, but it doesn't take you much to get caught up in like what's going on.
100%. Anyways,
your favorite character, sir?
Favorite character, Legolas. It's not hard.
Legolas?
It's not hard. He's the GOAT. He is
Sure.
He's always on one. He kills the best people. Like he's
Let's go meaty.
He's a beast, bro. Like no one's killing more orcs than Legolas. Like,
him.
He's about that action. Like
dual sword. He's about that.
Like,
he's about that. Big trust.
He's really about the life. Like I with Legolas big time. Like.
Ooh,
in my opinion, any character that's not Legolas, I mean, I feel like I don't really trust you. Like,
can I get one of those?
Legolas is clearly the best character.
Right. Legolas is solid. We love Gimli, but he's that comic relief guy. You can't really give him favorite status down there. But I didn't really think about who my favorite character is. That's not good.
I'd say the only other logical choice would be Sam. That's it.
Sam is the reason it works. Sam is the reason it works.
Arwen doesn't make yours.
I give you compliments, a great call, but no, she's shitting my chin on my top 5 probably.
I think I gotta go with that might be the hot take I was talking about earlier. I'll bring him up again. Boromir. Boromir is my favorite character, only in the first movie.
You legitly.
So I enjoy.
You legitly get like maybe 30 minutes of screen time with this guy. And what does he do in that?
So
tries to kill Frodo.
Exactly. So what I like seeing. Redemption arcs. And I'm not saying his redemption was as epic as Prince Zuko. Shout out to Avatar: The Last Airbender. It wasn't that, but he was tested and he failed. his test because he tried to take the ring from Frodo. That just shows how powerful it was, and he wanted to get it, and he wants to help Gondor. He wants to save mankind. That's his intentions, but it corrupted the out of him. He tries to take Frodo, and as soon as he slips and falls, bonks his head on the... He's like, oh, Frodo. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like, he says, I'm sorry. Like, he realizes how much he fucked up. And what does he do? Immediately, it's like, it's time to fight, time to go against the orcs. And he saves Merry and Pippin, who then go and, like, without them, it's all lost. And he gives his life for the Fellowship. Nobody else did. Like, not saying that they wouldn't. Every single one of those guys would have died. Like, well, technically, Gandalf the Grey is the first one to die for the Fellowship. But I think he selfishly did that to gain more XP points by killing Balrog and sharing none of it with his companions. But Boromir takes 3 to the chest and keeps fighting. He blows the horn of Gondor, gets all of the orcs coming towards him away from the buddies. I think he's a huge team player. He was corrupted. He failed his test, and I think he redeemed himself at the cost of his life. And I think that's favorite character worthy.
I think he's a good character. I just wish that maybe they showed him being like corrupt like more often. Because like he's been a good. He was like he was wanting to say he wanted the ring in the beginning, like when they were all in the little circle and they're all.
He's a little arrogant. He's a little arrogant with it.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
But throughout the whole entire journey, like he wasn't trying to steal the and just all of a sudden, I want it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
there's that scene where
show a little like more lead up to it till that happens.
They do.
He was a very good character. Then all of a sudden he's apologizing after trying to attack little Frodo. Like, come on.
No, he f***s up earlier. He f***s up earlier than that because Frodo falls down this cliff a little bit in the snow, and the ring falls off of him, and Boromir picks it up. He's like, it's funny we should suffer so much fear and doubt over so small a thing. And Aragorn's sitting there like Boromir, give the ring back to Frodo. And he has his hand on the hilt of his sword, and he's like, oh, of course. Like, here you go.
The ring already got him.
The ring, like, you could tell it was tempting the out of him. And I think there might be, and when they get to Galadriel and that Mirkwood, is it? The forest they go into after they leave Moria. I want to say Mirkwood, and he's sitting there talking to Aragorn, like, well, we were men of, like, Gondor or whatever. And I think there it also kind of emphasizes how it's kind of changing him. Like, he's not right. It's with him to not have he wants it bad. And, like, they could have like teased a little more, but now there's so many other things to like touch on in that movie. Excuse me. It'd be hard to dial in all those like little things all the time. I think
he did a great job, honestly. Like, reminded me about Boromir, like in terms of everything, like his whole arc. Like, as a kid, I used to love Boromir too. Like, I love the Horn of Gondor. I think that was dope. Like, the Horn of Gondor.
3 arrows.
Yeah.
3 arrows. He probably would survive the Force to the face.
Boromir's dope. I'm not gonna lie, Boromir's dope. But I mean, we'll say I just can't rank him on the top. Probably 5. I
Do you
mean,
think
honestly,
Boromir is better than friggin' Eowyn?
I think they're close though. Bro, I mean, like, obviously Legolas is in a tier by himself, and then and you got Samwise.
He was the best killer for sure. Like, Legolas by far killed the most, and I think he came in most clutch. Even though
clutch.
Well,
Legolas is not clutch.
he fumbled. He did fumble the ball.
Legolas is not clutch.
Legolas might be the Adrian Peterson of the Fellowship because he fumbles within the 5-yard line.
I'll tell you.
Let's Helm's Deep get blasted. Oh, you got that?
I'll tell you who he is once we get to that point.
Well, let's get in there right now. Let's get in there right now. We're talking. All right, we have the Fellowship. We have 9 members of the Fellowship. Brentley, name them off for me.
It's Frodo, Gandalf, Legolas, Aragorn, Sam, Pippin, Merry, Gollum, and Gimli.
No, Gollum's not in there.
Oh, that was on the thing.
Gandalf?
No.
I got Gandalf.
You got Gandalf?
Oh. No.
So, anyways, the question is, looking at the camera. So we have
who?
I'll name them.
All right. So we have. Oh, please.
Boromir, Legolas, Gimli,
that makes sense.
Aragorn, Samwise, Merry, Pip, Frodo, Gandalf.
And Bill the donkey for a little bit before they tell him to off. But anyways, the question at hand is, we're going to take all 9 of these members of the Fellowship of the Ring. We're going to replace them with a likeness of NFL or pro athletes and or WWE wrestlers. We're going to replace all of them. Skylar, a.k.a. Dirk Diggler, with all of your knowledge.
Say like my all 9?
No, let's do one by one.
One by one?
I'm going to do Frodo first.
Okay.
So Frodo in my book is definitely Antonio Brown. He's
Oh,
fucking
shit.
crazy in the head. He doesn't know what the hell he wants in life. He goes back and forth. He hates his best friends. He loves his best friends. And it's just, I think Antonio Brown fits the Frodo image perfectly.
Antonio Brown is Frodo.
Antonio Brown is Frodo. He's small.
His feet are all weird.
His feet are all weird.
Frozen.
Talking 24/7.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like
my
that.
God.
I like that a lot. Wow.
that had me rattled.
I didn't think of that. That's good. Yeah.
Who's your Frodo?
For Frodo, for me, I was gonna say like, I was just gonna pick any kind of NFL kicker, right? Where you hate them for 59 minutes of the entire game, despise them. You wish they never steal a field. All they can do really is,
Good day, sir.
you know, if you got a good one, they can be useful. But otherwise, they're just missing kicks, giving you back to the position. Some football guys would even go and say, "You want kickers out of the game." So,
Oh my
so you
God.
despise
That's a
them.
hot
Who needs
take by
kickers?
itself. Holy shit.
So
No kicking in football
But
games.
at the end of the day, kickers, even if you don't like them, there's a lot of responsibility because they can win you or lose you games. And Frodo, who I personally despise, I absolutely hated Frodo. He came through clutch in the ring. We got into the fire, of Mount Doom. So,
with a little help from his teammates.
but and that's what I'm saying. Kickers, like they can win you the game like Frodo did, but like. The game could have played. The rest of the team could have played excellent football for 59 minutes, but
What kicker is it?
the kicker could choke. I had down Adam Vinatieri, where it's like,
Vinatieri's the GOAT.
yeah, but he made
Over Janikowski?
But at the end of the day,
God.
he made the game-winning kicks all the time, and so did Frodo. So that's what I'm saying.
To win Super Bowls.
That's what I'm saying. Like Frodo did have the ultimate win. He saved Middle Earth.
Hey, let's
So-
be clear. Frodo did not win that game. Frodo.
Yes, he did.
He crumbled at the last second. He said, "The ring is mine." That's not winning the game.
I guess
That's
he was kinda
that's
selfish
being
at the end
scum.
there.
Then Gollum
Gollum
comes,
bit the shit
recovers
off.
the fumble, and then Sam blitzes and gets a safety at the end. And Gollum's done. Team Sauron loses. So, sorry, I get excited.
Who's
I get
Frodo for
excited.
you?
Frodo, you guys are gonna hate this, but believe me, I was ready to defend this. He's Tom Brady because he's got the ring. Yeah, he's got ring. He's got bling.
Disgusting.
But he whines, he complains, unlikable, and he's nothing without the surrounding squad, aka Sam, who I have as Gronk. Because without Frodo's there, he has the ring. He has the power, whatever. But without the team around him, the fellowship, that could be the line, it could be every other aspect of the game. Tom Brady ain't shit without those around him. I guess you could say that for any quarterback, but. He complains so much. Frodo's whiny, unlikable, and he's nothing without Sam, Gronk, somebody to throw it to, somebody that he needs help with. Because without Gronk to sit there, put it in the end zone, to take the hits, to go against the she-lobs, God damn it, Frodo is Tom Brady, and Sam is Rob Gronkowski. So I guess let's go to Sam. Who you guys got to Sam?
I'll go first here. I originally had Scottie Pippen in the sense that Scottie was Robin to MJ's Batman, and first off, LeBron is the GOAT, but second off, MJ wouldn't have won any championships without Scottie, and God knows Frodo wouldn't have done nothing without Sam. And as we saw in The Last Dance, MJ is a horrible, horrible teemmate. And Frodo,
Great teammate.
Is he?
What are you talking about?
Is
He's the
he?
greatest teammate, one of the greatest teammates of all time. He pushes you to the limit.
understands
Then
it.
he understands. If you could survive this, you could survive going through a championship.
really?
If you take
I
emotion
saw
out of it and you just want to
emotion.
win, your emotion, your feelings. It's time to win.
I saw on Last Dance, Scottie was holding out for more money, getting a new contract. He was on the worst deal of the entire
He
NBA.
accepted that.
He was making $2
needed
million
it, though.
per year as literally a top 6 player
It
in
was
the league.
pathetic. For him to accept
Meanwhile, MJ was making $33 million, and he's by far the best player in the getting paid like the best player in the NBA. And his co-captain is making $2 million. He's trying to hold out to get more money. MJ, as we saw in Last Dance again, literally called Scottie out on TV, saying, "Oh yeah, we expect him to be here. We need him to be here." Instead of what the unspoken rule is, teammates don't talk about other people's contracts.
Yeah.
And so that goes
that's taboo.
Yeah, and I just think LeBron would never do that. But I just think LeBron would get this teammates paid. That's the difference. Yeah. And so, anyways, I just think MJ's a terrible teammate. Frodo's the worst teammate in the world.
He's no good.
So that's why I said Scottie Pippen. However, I couldn't make the argument of LeBron.
Naughty.
For Sam.
I got LeBron in my lineup, but he ain't no Sam.
Get the hell out of here with that bullshit.
Let me explain myself.
No. LeBron's the GOAT. Sam is not the GOAT. Sam left them because some bread went down the goddamn hill and he freaking left and started crying like a little bitch. You're telling me he's the GOAT? You're comparing him to the GOAT?
Like falls.
Like, dude, if you're falling from that height, you're going down the goddamn hill, man. You're going down the mountain.
Dude,
you're going down. You're not stopping.
I meant Sam's LeBron from the sense that, like he never gets the credit he deserves, you know? Like,
put some respect on my name.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like Sam, like just like LeBron's the GOAT, Sam never gets called the GOAT, you know? And it's
I guess it's kind of like when Frodo said that they're gonna tell stories about this and they'll mention Sam, yada yada yada. You remember that?
Samwise the Brave.
Yeah, Samwise
I want to hear more about.
Brave.
I want to jack off to Sam.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be talking about Frodo and how Frodo.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess you're right. I guess you're right to that aspect.
And another question I wanted to know is like, okay, like so let me understand, like Frodo's gonna go down as a legend, like Frodo gets to go to the land of eternity or whatever the hell they do.
Bullshit.
And meanwhile Sam
potatoes.
Fucking did everything, in my opinion. Like,
dude, he gets to stay on Middle Earth and just slam Hobbit poon all day, all night, and twice in the morning. The 4-second breakfast.
So who's yours, Samwise?
My Samwise is Adam Thielen.
Hey,
the freaking GOAT. The number one wide receiver in the league.
Reliable.
No matter what, when it comes to a third down, when you need a big play to happen, Adam Thielen is there. You know what the worst part about it is? Because you know it's the truth. I love me some Adam Thielen. I'm not biased right now. I'm just saying, whenever it comes to a big play or you need something to happen, just like Sam, that man is always there.
I'm going to give you a clutch moment. I don't think people pay enough homage to Hobbit rock throwing ability because Merry and Pippin f***ed it up, and then Sam, they're on the slopes of Mount Doom. Like Gollum comes back out of nowhere. All right, so Gollum's about to take Frodo, and then Sam takes a rock and just chucks it and hits Gollum in the head. Yeah. Like that was a great throw in prime time.
Like, well, I'm just saying, not just, but like Sam's had to overcome a lot of adversity. Puts
Frodo over his shoulders.
Did Adam Thielen get drafted? No, I don't think so. He freaking came straight out of Minnesota.
That's a better angle. I was gonna
say. He's had a lot of adversity that he's had to deal his way to not getting drafted to becoming a star NFL wide receiver. Hot take, top 10 NFL wide receiver.
I don't think it's that hot. To be honest,
really think it's hot. He's not on his team anymore.
Shut up! Get the hell out of here. You ain't wrong. Justin Jefferson is the freaking GOAT. I ain't gonna lie. He's a real ass problem. But I just think for all the adversity that Adam Thielen's had to deal in life and where he is at today is exactly what Sam had to do. Like, he had to endure a shit ton of adversity, and to be able to freaking score that goddamn touchdown at the end of it,
he brought it home.
Big time, brought it home.
Very good. Let's get the Hobbits out of the way. For Merry and Pippin, I kind of have them lumped up in the same because they complement each other so well. Where there's one, they're the other. They're kind of a tag team in my eyes. I have them down as Matt and Jeff Hardy.
I'm your Huckleberry.
I like Matt and Jeff Hardy more than I like Merry and Pippin. However, like, they're a good team. Like, without them, the Ents aren't getting into it. They persuade them to go and take out Isengard. They light the beacon of Gondor. Merry stabs the Witch King in the back. That gives Arwen the go-ahead to shove her sword in his face. And I just think they're a great tag team, and I like the bromance that they have there. They're irritating characters.
They're gay.
They're very irritating. They're banging each other out.
For you to put Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy,
I don't mean
these two, the slandering the Hardy boys right now.
Am I slandering?
I am very. It's a slap in their face. And
I don't think
disrespectful.
So. I mean,
it's very disrespectful.
I think they're a good team. Without them. Jeff Hardy doggy style.
I was always Jeff Hardy in the video game when we were kids.
Hell yeah.
Jeff Hardy was a savage.
He did. All right, so the best wrestling video game of all time, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Jeff Hardy wasn't in it. 2008 SmackDown vs. Raw. He's in it. But 2007,
Let me guess. What is his house burned down? Or he got
I don't know, man. I was
saved
all
his
about
dog,
his
and all of a
drama.
sudden he got caught up with some steroids.
I was all about Jeff Hardy.
Aaron would always just cry to me about Jeff Hardy, why he couldn't wrestle anymore.
He's the best. He's the best. But anyways, who you guys have, Mary and Pippin?
I can go with Pippin first. Please. I said J.R. Smith. Just a f***ing idiot.
Oh dude, man, that's a good one.
Yeah, just a f***ing idiot.
Always
not
fucking
clutch.
Running the ball out,
bro. Just like dog.
Disappointing.
Pass to LeBron. You have a second left or whatever happened in that finals game. Yeah, that is the meme.
Just
like,
always disappointing someone.
Gandalf sitting there like,
bro, like dog. It's like
knocking him down.
It ain't that hard, bro. Like, don't look at the ball. Like, you do too much.
Look for LeBron. Give LeBron the ball. You cannot have the ball in your hands.
So
when
I
it's
got
winning time.
Pippen, J.R. Smith. My Mary. This was by far the hardest one I had to go with, but. You know, when I think of Mary, I think of just super reliable, just like consistent.
Does he bang Eowyn? Is it Eowyn or Arwen?
I think it's Arwen.
Arwen.
And then the other one's Eowyn.
Does he poke her when they're like on the like horse ride over to Minas Tirith? She's like, "Hey, we might die."
I think she looks at him like a little kid, but like
yeah,
for Mary, they're like, dude, Mary's about the action too. Like Mary's about it.
About
like
that.
he's low key clutch, dude. Like Mary's low key a beast.
He's got a better head.
He's a leader.
He's got a better head on.
He's a leader. Like
sure.
he has to lead Pip. Like dude.
Yeah.
Two Towers, low key. Mary's like a top 5 character.
Yeah.
Mary goes off because he became cool cheaper. I got him as Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard is a consistent player. Like he's a guy you would want on your team. Mm-hmm. You know, he's a leader, he's reliable, but he probably can't win you a championship by himself. And exactly that's what I'm saying. Mary can't do something insane by himself, but like he's a badass player you'd want on your team.
Maybe Pippin's more of a CJ McCollum then, because as you recall that. Insult? No, because when you think about it, who really convinced the ants to go?
The worst character.
Who convinced the ants to go into battle? Who convinced them to go south?
Not Pippin.
It was Pippin.
No.
The farther away from danger, the closer we are from
his
harm.
pipe.
That's the last thing he'll expect.
He said smoke his pipe and
he did.
It up.
But he convinced Treebeard to turn direction and go towards Isengard.
Oh, that was not him.
That was Pippin.
I think
literally
Pippin
said that.
No, I think Pippin has some
to trick him.
I think he has some redeeming qualities. I mean, he's a dope singer, but like time after time, like he fucking pisses you off. Like,
dude, he does. When he grabbed the what was the freak? The eye. Yeah, when he grabbed
the planter.
Dude, like, don't do it.
That was.
Don't do it. What are you doing?
Gandalf literally told you keep your mouth shut in front of the damn steward. What does he do? Oh, but Boromir died because of me. I pledge myself to you. Like Pippin, like dude. You, bro. Like honestly, like
nobody was.
Gandalf's sitting there. He's like, "Come on, fucking do it."
If I was Gandalf, like you have the right to kill him at that point in time. Like honestly, like
end him for sure. Nobody would have missed him. Besides Mary,
Mary.
nobody would miss him. No one would miss him.
I would have felt bad for Mary. Mary would have been like super salty, but I mean, that's what I got. I got Damian Lillard for Mary and J.R. Smith for Pippin.
All right, I can dig it. I like the diversity.
Pippin and Mary are pretty tough for me, so I'm going at these two angles. I'm going with Pippin. I'm going with Jello Ball. Because all he's ever done is just f in his life and lived in his brother's shadows, no matter what. The people from China, like that guy. Where is he in life? You don't know because all he does is f up. So he's just that's who my Pippin is. He's Jello Ball. That's all he is. He's f***ing trash. He brings nothing to the table.
No,
he's f***ing trash. Then
he's not like
Mary. So Mary, when I was watching Lord of the Rings, I definitely thought Mary was gay, which there's nothing wrong with that in 2020.
No.
So I definitely
2019 a big problem, but
yeah,
not 2020.
Yeah, 2019. Dude, what?
Gay.
2020 definitely cool. But so in my eyes, I picked a character that definitely I thought Mary, and that would be Michael Sam. So Michael Sam is the first gay NFL athlete drafted by the freaking Rams. So I thought Michael Sam was for sure Mary. And I was like, oh my god, because Michael Sam loves some dudes and Mary loves some Pippin. So that's
nothing but a
where I'm at
romance
with that one.
I love it.
Those are my Pippin and Mary.
Oh,
do you think that is stronger?
That was excellent.
Do they have a stronger bromance than Legos and Gimli? I thought that was a very solid bromance.
See, that was a bromance. What
that's solid.
Pippin and Mary had.
They're for sure.
That was some weird.
Real talk, like get
in some hobble holes.
I always kind of would like to think they were just brothers, but
see if they did that, it'd make more sense.
I think Mary or Pippin is Frodo's cousin. There's some relation there, but they're just homies. They're just rascals, you know, just setting off fireworks. Let's get another one.
I don't know. They're little
too friendly.
Yeah, it's
too
interesting.
friendly.
Oh, lettuce. Not the vegetable, guys. Let us move on, okay? Let's go. All right, your boy, Legolas. Who you got? Let's get to the main
All right, guys. So
characters
I
here.
got for Legolas. I got Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Yes.
Mm.
And so these are my thoughts. I think the most upside talent, like just natural ability, Legolas is by far
First round draft
just the
pick.
best. Like
You want his bow.
all the physical tools. Like, dude, he can shoot the arrow. Like he's never misses. Like he has the potential to just kill the most orcs at any given time. Like he's the one you'd like want to be in a battle with. Like Legolas is a beast, and he's like just a killer. He's a killer.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
He's just like an absolute killer. Justin Herbert, same way. With all the physical tools, strong arm, athletic. Like he's the prototype. I will say this: they both, in the past, like for Herbert, with Legolas and Helm's Deep, underperformed, left it wanting a little more in crunch time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Herbert could have won the Auburn game last year. You know, it was a big game on the road. Didn't really deliver. But Legolas could have shot the arrow kind of in the neck, like Eric was telling him. You know,
He even tells the rest of the elves their armor is weak under the arm and below the neck.
Yeah, like...
I mean, to his credit, he does hit them both right here, but that orc was just DK Metcalf.
But, you know, I would say if that was the one negative against Legolas you'd ever say it was he didn't kill the Uruk-hai, but it's like at the same time, it's like you still want that guy on your team. And
He keeps performing even after the Uruk-hai destroy the wall in Helm's Deep. He knocks out one of those giant siege ladders that they're trying to bring up towards the main castle. Like he does work.
He does a scooter on the stairs.
Oh my god, that was he
the
throws the
shield.
shield and he's just.
So I got Justin Herbert
Solid.
and Legolas.
What do you guys got?
I want to piggyback off of that one.
Please.
I think what you said is exactly what I was going to kind of say. I think Legolas is dope ass character. My number 2 for sure. Like Legolas is a fucking beast, but he reminds me a lot of James Harden. This man
no defense.
puts up numbers. This man does his thing in the regular season, but when it comes to playoffs and crunch time, just like what Brent said, that doesn't deliver. It butthole puckers and he doesn't deliver.
So
yes,
he's
he may kill an
Kershaw.
elephant, just like you said off of the first movie. He couldn't shoot the goddamn orc, and the orc blew up the goddamn wall. If that's the
I feel like that's his one flaw as a character. He missed that shot.
He missed the shot. He missed the shot that counted to save.
He's at the Black Gates though.
But don't get me wrong.
There.
Did he redeem the shot? Yeah, he redeemed the shot. But when it came down to a crunch time moment, when you needed him most, and your king is calling you, Legolas, kill him, and he couldn't do it. James Harden that shit big time. Is he on the trading block?
I'll die as one of
Are you gonna love to have James Harden on your team? Yes,
absolutely.
But
That's a good one,
at the end of the day, you know when it comes down to crunch time, don't give him the ball. He's gonna fumble.
I guess I'll keep it in the NBA realm. We're talking shooters. We're talking accuracy. This might be low hanging fruit or a little easy when I put Legolas as Steph Curry. Just taking it for the best shot I'll say from Steph Curry was against. It was the 82. It was the 82 or 83 win season. What was it? The regular season, they lost to LeBron in the finals first. 73.
LeBron came back to a
73 game season.
Go.
It was when they're playing against OKC. They're losing, and then out of nowhere, Andre Iguodala hits 2 free throws in a row, and he's just sitting there. He's like, I don't know how the that happened. And then Steph takes 2 steps over half court and just pops a 3 to just killed him. And I think
what game was it when Andre Iguodala started doing?
Oh no, he just kicked it was in the playoffs. I think the year before that. He made a great play. He's walking. I think it was the year before that when they won.
I wish I could have liked the Warriors back then, but
it's tough.
They had to be LeBron's rival.
I'll give.
That's the thing. I wish it didn't have to be. I wish it didn't have to happen.
Well, it just shows how great LeBron is because the only way that the Warriors were going to be able to beat him is by getting KD. That's all it was.
And they did. They got him. I'll give a Legolas Steph Curry, just eagle eye, sharpshooter, and I don't think. Yeah, Steph up once, and I'll give that playoff loss. I'll give that finals loss as equivalent to having the wall of Helm's Deep being destroyed. You up. You had it won. You had the shots. You missed it. You screwed up. But I think he redeemed himself, got an extra championship later on. The KD could be the equivalent to the Ghosts coming and just OP. They get the job done in the Battle of Minas Tirith. They get the extra ring. Just outrageous. But Legolas is Steph Curry in mine. Let's go Gimli.
potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Gimli. I said, I got Frank Gore.
Ooh, I like it. Filthy.
I got Frank Gore.
Very good.
You know, his style is not the sexiest. It doesn't look pretty when he's doing it, but end of the day, he puts up numbers consistently.
He does.
Gimli's low-key a monster. Like, yeah, he ain't putting up Legolas' numbers, but no one else is. But Gimli, like, in terms of the short hand-to-hand combat, like, I'm taking Gimli over almost anybody. I mean, like,
He'll give
honestly,
you 3-4 yards every time you give him.
every single time, and he plays and fights forever. You know, like Gimli's like hell old. You know, he's a dwarf. Dwarves are low-key old. And he's
Are they like they're not like elves, are they?
They're not. I don't think they're immortal, but they live. I think a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so like dwarves are like dope, and I just think like is Frank Gore a Hall of Famer? I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
well,
Yes.
I mean,
Say the Y word. Yes.
So he's only like what? He's behind Emmitt Smith and one other person. He's like number 3.
What say you?
yeah,
Maybe he's
I
number
mean,
2.
I
Give
think-
it to him.
I
Hey,
think-
Frank
I
Gore
think-
is a Hall of Famer.
He
He might
should
be
have
brain
won.
dead.
All right, they
He
should
might
have
be brain
beaten.
dead.
They should have beaten the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
I think Frank
No.
Gore. I think Frank Gore will eventually get in, but like
He'll be
I
brain
just-
dead by that point.
I just kind of feel like
He's not already.
you know, for like a Hall of Famer,
knows the plays, though.
You do want like, I like the rule that people say it's like, for them to be in the Hall of Fame, you should be able to say, at least for 1 year in their career, whether they're the best player at that position.
I think when he was
I
for the
would
Niners
never,
earlier, he
ever
was.
say.
Well,
Frank
what
Gore.
about
when he was playing
what about
for the
longevity
Niners,
though?
Niners
No,
early
I
in
mean,
his
yeah,
career,
longevity matters obviously, and I think
Durability.
I think his longevity
And durability.
was so unique and so rare. That's what's gonna get him in, and his consistency. But like,
His
I
body
just,
is tough.
I like my Hall of Famers to be like, fuck, we got to play against this guy. Like, Frank Gore is dope. Don't get me wrong, and he's good. But like,
He doesn't inspire fear, but he's kind of like under the radar, in which like he'll just
You know
get
you're
the
gonna
job
get
done.
3-4 yards.
You're gonna get it
What do you
done.
say?
Gimli's
You're
gonna
gonna
get.
get 3-4 yards.
He'll get his solid amount of kills. Like you put him in battle, he's gonna do what he's meant to do, and he survives every single battle. He runs 3 days in night's pursuit, no food, no rest, and no sign of a quarry, as Belrock can tell. He's just going off. Hey, Gimli.
Yeah.
You're Gimli.
My Gimli is Charles Barkley. Undersized in his position,
Let's go.
but it doesn't matter when it comes to freaking. When it came down to game time, Charles Barkley freaking delivered. Savage.
How's Gimli's
One of the
golf
greatest
swing
of
though?
all time.
Compared to
Probably when he's swinging the axe,
Same
I've
one.
seen it. When he swings the axe, he kind of hitch in it, then he
Just
kills it.
fucking
Then he goes up.
decapitates.
Yeah, but it kind of freezes the orc a little bit when he's doing it. But nah, I think Gimli's definitely one of my favorite characters.
I got
for sure.
you.
And he's always there for crunch time. He's always getting the job done. And I think Charles, he's undersized. That's what the comparison with Charles is.
Very
Charles
good.
is undersized center and dominated the position no matter what.
Is Shaq
Round,
Treebeard?
mound, or rebound? Huh?
Is Shaq Treebeard just as huge?
Yeah, sure. Shaq could be Treebeard.
Very cool. Thanks, guy. For Gimli, I went a different direction. I wanted to kind of diversify a little bit, get outside the NBA. I was like, okay, who's a short, hairy athlete that's just a stud? Khabib. Just gets the job done, ground and pound. He's not going to get you from
Let
far
the
away.
eagle
He lets you
fly.
come to him, and you just see him. I love how he fights with the axes. He's spinning them. He's throwing small ones. He brings you in. Like, let them come. Like, let them see there's one dwarf and Mario still draws breath. He's just a bad man.
Gimli's a beast.
Bad man.
Honestly, Gimli's a beast.
Gimli's dope.
He's just about the squad. And I love the fact, like, it's kind of